basketball society.
What's going on, everybody? Alex Fishbein back again with another Fisch's Friday rant. And today, we're going to do something a little different with the Fisch's Friday rant. We are just going to scroll through NBA news and rant about whatever I see and whatever I want to start talking about. But the first thing, there is like one specific thing I want to talk about first. And that is Kawhi Leonard, especially after last night when they faced the Cavs. Kawhi Leonard was quite simply a beast. And a lot of people keep saying, oh, Kawhi Leonard only is this good, whatever, because of the system, because of having Coach Pop, because of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili, etc., etc. Everyone keeps saying, oh, Kawhi Leonard, pretty much just not giving credit to Leonard himself for improving his own game and getting better. That's really what I've seen from a lot of the fans. And now, writers and everything, they're like, okay, like, Leonard's a beast. He's been doing this, he's been doing that, he's been doing this. And yeah, of course, being on the Spurs helps because they're a good team. He can really showcase his abilities in this kind of system, that kind of thing. That is understandable. All right, that's a nice boost. That's a nice little compliment to what he did for his game. But to say that he's only this good because of the system, because of Pop, because of being on the Spurs, that's just ridiculous. If you haven't read the stories about this guy, he lives and breathes basketball. Literally, they were saying that really the only thing he talks about in the locker room and everything is basketball. They try and talk about other things and he just doesn't really care, but as soon as they talk about basketball, his eyes light up and he's ready to talk. There's no way that I can just say, okay, this guy, he's only good just because of the team that he's on. That's it. He didn't do anything to get better. Like, come on, that just sounds stupid. Like, you gotta give credit where credit is due. Now, I understand a lot of these people who might be ripping Leonard and, like, saying all this kind of stuff very well might be the opposing team's fans that he's been dominating. They might be those people. And I do see a lot of Cavs fans being mad at the fact that Kawhi's this good. Hey, I mean, a lot of people have done that about LeBron. A lot of people have done that about Kobe. A lot of people have done that about Jordan. Everybody. If you come across an opposing player who is one of the upper tier players in the league and your team loses, a lot of them are going to hate it. But the fact is, okay, push your team aside. Okay, you lost a game. Get over it. Just appreciate the kind of improvement that Kawhi Leonard has gone through. He started his rookie season wasn't really anything to write home about. Now, I'm looking here and it says, all right, so rookie season he averaged 7.9 points and 5 rebounds. There's nothing special about that. Played 24 minutes a game. He started 39 out of 64 games. So it looks like he was probably hurt a little bit or maybe just had rest because that's what Pop does. But then look what he's doing now. Now, actually, first off, before we start looking at what he's doing now, look at the seasons just in points. It goes from 7.9 to 11.9 to 12.8 to 16.5. This season, 20.2. And that's not it for this season. He's averaging 20.2 points this season, 2 steals, 0.9 blocks, 2.6 assists, 7.1 rebounds, while shooting 48% from 3 and 50% from the floor. And you're going to tell me this is only because of the system, only because of having Coach Pop as a coach, and only because of being on the Spurs with guys like Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, etc. If it was all because of the system, wouldn't Danny Green look like an all-star? Wouldn't Patty Mills look like an all-star? If it was only because of the system. Come on now. Yeah, I'm just saying, this man deserves to be an all-star and more. He deserved his Defensive Player of the Year award. He deserved the Finals MVP. Heck, he might even play his way into an actual league MVP soon. And then when Charles Barkley gets on TV and starts talking about that he thinks Kawhi is the best player in the world, everyone is up in arms and pissed off and like, no, it can't possibly be the best player in the world, blah, blah, blah. There's still LeBron, there's still Steph Curry. We all know those guys are still in the league. We all know they didn't retire. We all know they didn't get hurt. We all know that they're still playing at a very, very, very high level. But why is it so unfathomable that Kawhi Leonard can't be up in the conversation with them? Why is that so unheard of that Kawhi can't be mentioned with those guys at the top? Because Kawhi plays the best defense out of those guys at the top. When you look at his advanced stats, which a lot of people are into these days, this season his offensive rating is 122, his defensive rating is 92. He himself is giving up only 92 points per 100 possessions. Last season, it was 113 and 96. The season before, 116 and 98. And before that, 114 and 99. And even as a rookie, it was 119 and 101. But no, you got it. You got it. He can't be mentioned in at the top with anybody else. And I'm not even a Spurs fan. I just love watching this guy play because he gets it done on both sides of the ball. And he doesn't do it with flash. He's not like an outspoken guy. He just goes on the court and gets the job done. That's all Kawhi Leonard is. He's like Tim Duncan, whereas he's not a guy to go and like go out on a limb and start saying all this kind of stuff in an interview. That's why a lot of people kind of overlook Tim Duncan when they start talking about superstars like Kobe and Iverson and everything, because Duncan just silently won championships. He was silently successful. He was silently dominating the post and dominating other big men in his prime. That's what Kawhi Leonard is doing. But people are trying to almost like blame it on other stuff. And it's really about time that you recognize the kind of skill that Kawhi Leonard is bringing to the table and how he's improved his own game as time went on. All right, so let's look at some things on like some news articles. Let's see. Oh, the Heat still haven't answered their Hassan Whiteside questions. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that, yes, the Heat should keep him. And, I do agree. The Heat should keep Hassan Whiteside. But most likely he's going to demand a good chunk of money. And while he is young and everything, you still have to find other pieces to surround him with. Because Dwayne Wade is obviously getting older. Chris Bosh, still playing at a high level, but he's getting older. But, I mean, personally, the more worrisome of those two would probably be Dwayne Wade, since his knees aren't that great. And, you know, we've seen a definite decline in Dwayne Wade. But when push comes to shove, they could probably find a serviceable big man to take Hassan Whiteside's place and throw some money at other big name guys. And we've all seen the rumors and everything that apparently Riley wants to go for Kevin Durant. He wants to make his pitch. He wants to put out that money for him. And if you're giving Whiteside like a max contract, then probably wouldn't have the money to get Kevin Durant as well, because obviously Durant deserves a max contract. I mean, I'm not even saying that Durant would want to come to Miami. That's a whole different story. But when you have the decision of who you're going to pay, Whiteside, Durant, there's a little bit of a weight there. I mean, obviously, everyone is going to pick Durant over Whiteside. But that's the thing, is that the Heat will probably have to wait to decide, because they are still going to go into the conversations with Durant and try wholeheartedly to get him. So they would probably have to wait to see what Durant decides to then try and sign Whiteside. And that's when other teams who need a big man could swoop in and maybe give him a max contract that maybe the Heat are waiting to see. And that's what I think is a big thing to watch when free agency comes around. Let's see. Oh, Jimmy Butler dropped 53 points last night on the Sixers. And I forget who it was. I saw a tweet that said Kawhi Leonard wants to say he's the best shooter. Sorry, not Kawhi Leonard. Klay Thompson wants to say that he's the best shooting guard, and only dropped, I think it was 12 or 14 points on one of the worst teams in the league. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, dropped 53. Now, I'm not saying that's a sound argument. That's one game. A lot of things can happen, like night in and night out, contributing to maybe having a bad game or just having an off night. But I do think that, I mean, first off, James Harden, I still think, is the top shooting guard right now. But for second, I would definitely place Jimmy Butler there. No disrespect to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson still is a sniper. He is a dead-eye shooter. He plays some decent defense, and he can do a few things off the dribble as well. But his defense is not as good as Butler's. Butler just seems to have this like high motor where he can just go forever. And it's really interesting to watch, because you'll watch as the game progresses, and he kind of looks like he might be tired, and then all of a sudden busts out some crazy athletic play, and you're like, wait, I thought this guy has already been in the game for like 30 minutes, 32 minutes. How is he sprinting from one side of the court to the other, catching an alley-oop or dunking it? What kind of conditioning program is this guy on? And not only that, Butler's mid-range game is deadly. He can get to the rim on a half-court offense as well as the fast break. His hands are good on defense. If he developed a better three-point shot, which is possible, I mean, he definitely can, seeing his improvement as well. Like, when I was talking about Kawhi Leonard's improvement, Butler has shown some great improvement also. And if he develops a little bit better of a three-point shot, I mean, we're talking about him becoming the best shooting guard in the league then. Because then, if he develops a better three-point shot, he pretty much becomes James Harden offensively without getting to the free throw line. Which, besides just saying, that game last night against the Sixers, he did get the free throw line over 20 times, but that's beside the point. Say he develops that better three-point shot. He becomes James Harden without drawing all the fouls, and then he's easily twice as better on the defensive end. So if that did happen, I would definitely put Butler as the number one shooting guard. And I'd also, this is like kind of, well, building off of that point, but also just like an aside, I kind of feel bad for Butler right now, because he's definitely carrying that Bulls team. There's some, like, it just, I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of the Bulls players just kind of seem not with it. The aggressiveness, the intensity doesn't seem to be there like past Bulls teams had. And I mean, you can say injuries. That's definitely a plausible explanation with Noah in and out. Even Butler was a game-time decision. Derrick Rose has been out. But, I mean, Derrick Rose has been out a lot over these past few seasons. So, I mean, they've been learning to play without him. But the same, it just seems like, other than Jimmy Butler, the same hunger of the Bulls isn't there that they used to have. It's just, they don't have the same kind of feel when you watch them on the court as they used to. Okay. Actually, this kind of coincides with the Bulls. I want to touch on something that C and Martin, the Society founders, touched on their podcast, the Two Guard Front. They posted it last weekend. And they were talking about yelling coaches versus non-yelling coaches. And it kind of does go in hand in hand with the Bulls from Tom Thibodeau to Hoiberg. But I just want to talk about it from a personal standpoint because I agreed with Jimmy Butler when he said Hoiberg needs to coach them harder. He needs to be tougher on them. I agreed with that kind of thing because all of my life I've been used to coaches who are screamers, yellers. The moment you did something stupid, you're getting pulled out of the game. I mean, I'm used to that. I'm used to those guys, and there was a respect there. There was like, okay, they yell and scream, and they're always mad and everything, but they know what they're doing. It's not like those guys who yell just to yell. It's not those guys that kind of like yell at players to say like, oh, I'm yelling at you, so that means you got to play better. No, like these guys know it's like calculated yelling. It's strategic. It's not just yelling all the time. But I'm used to that kind of thing. So when Butler said that, I completely understood, and I could see where he was coming from. There was one year, now I play volleyball as well as basketball. There was one year in volleyball that I had a coach who was really laid back, who didn't really, I don't know, he just didn't really command the respect of all of the players, and it was really hard to play for him. It was just kind of like, okay, well, say I made the wrong play or the wrong decision, or my teammate made a wrong play or wrong decision. He was just kind of like, okay, try better next time. Those kind of coaches are pretty, like, annoying. Because it's like, just try better next time. Like, well, you're supposed to be the coach. You're supposed to be, like, teaching me, like, okay, what should I have done? I did this. Should I do this or should I do that? And I'm just so used to more hands-on coaches that are, like, pull you aside and be like, look, you did this. You need to start doing this. And then it's like, oh, okay, I got it now. And so when NBA players come out and say that kind of stuff, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not coaching them hard enough. Oh, this kind of stuff. People start making remarks about it. Although, if you're an athlete and you have played with these kind of coaches, you should definitely be able to connect with that kind of statement. It was easily a relatable comment, and you know what? I'm with Jimmy Butler on it. I'm with him all the way. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. I will be back next week with another one, as well as another Atlantic Files. Make sure you check out our website, www.basketball-society.com, and definitely check out our Twitter, @bballsociety_. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.